Welcome to another live stream with Intelligent Construction Opportunities. I'm Stephanie Brown, founder of Intelligent Construction Opportunities. Intelligent Construction Opportunities provides these live streams so construction vendors like our guest today can share their industry experience and the value their digital tools are offering construction professionals. Today, we're welcoming co-founder of RiskCast, Reggie Arichabala.
Thank you for having me on board. It's so exciting to be here.
Part of the reason for these live streams is so people can get to know the people behind the technologies. And just like you, they've had all kinds of real life experience in construction. So tell us a little bit about your experience with Skanska.
My background is interesting in that I actually started as a civil engineer. When I started with that company and when I went to study professionally at college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I liked the math and science. And so decided to go down the civil engineering side. And that was great. This is way back around, 2000s. Everything was very analog, still doing calculations by hand, et cetera. And I had taken some programming courses while I was in college. I said, this is actually kind of cool. Let me see if I can help the engineers do some of these calculations in an automated fashion. That's kind of the switch for me. It was like the engineering side was awesome. Creating this program to help them do this automated, even awesomer. So that's kind of the point where I decided to switch careers. And Skanska was awesome enough at the time where they're like, look, I don't want to lose you, but why don't we find you a place in the IT group? And so I switched over to the IT group, and they were a great organization to work with. I had a lot of different opportunities to work through. Even had at one point an opportunity to leave the IT side and actually go switch to the field. And I went and worked as a cost engineer for a little over a year. That's where some of my passion arose for job cost, productivity, self-perform work, et cetera, because I lived that problem with the teams on the job site. I had, up to that point, I helped Skanska build software that was helping them manage these things. Now I was being put on the job site to actually use this software. And I think I remember the biggest aha moment was when I went on the job site, spoke to the project manager. I'm like trying to understand what my day-to-day job roles would be. And as he kind of went through the whole thing, I realized that like maybe 5% was using the software that I had been involved with. Like everything else was all this other stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, when do you actually use software XYZ? Oh yeah, we only do that at the end of the month. I'm like, what? So it was, as a young engineer at the time, very eye-opening too. Basically, when you're in your thing, you think that's the whole world. Like everybody does this, everybody uses my software, and that's kind of where they spend their day. But the reality is when you get on a construction site, there's so many other things going on. It's so dynamic that, this one very important piece, maybe only 5% of what they do on a monthly basis. So it was a great experience to really not only understand how the technology was being used, but at the end of the day, they're a construction company, not a software company, right? So that's really the business that the team is focused on. And me, and as an IT professional at the time, had to switch my brain and realize, okay, let's put the IT stuff by the side.
You're bringing up something that's really, really important and valid. Part of the reason that this gap and perhaps attitude toward tech by some construction professionals is exactly what you honed in on there. And because you got that direct experience with Skanska, when they start to see you as a part of what they're doing, as opposed to some external appendage, RiskCast, like all great construction technology, is really just a digital tool.
Right. The tool. Yeah. I think as a user of technology, I 100% agree. As a software company, we have to have that self-realization sometimes. Hey, we're just a tool in the process, right? Like we need to really understand and make sure that we're adding value in that process. That's really the goal. And as construction practitioners ourselves, before jumping into this world of software as a service, our focus was really that, for better or for worse. You want to gain clients, and that's certainly our focus, but you tend to lose, how do we add value? So that was our main focus. And I say for better or for worse, because I think we got gummed up on that a little bit more than maybe we should have as a business. And as we got better as a business and sales, we started figuring out how to do both effectively. How do we give value and increase sales at the same time? So yeah, it's been a learning curve for us for sure.
But in fairness, both you and Alec come from construction and have the experience, as you alluded to earlier, with your being in the field. I think what's really important to keep embracing is putting yourself in the boots of the user.
Right.
And you have that purview specifically here at Riskcast, both you and Alec Thompson, your co-founder.